Are you feeling guilt or shame or even feeling like a failure all because you're procrastinating? Well, stop the scroll for a second because we're going to talk about procrastination, why you do it, and how to stop it. So let's get started. All right. Hey. So I have been getting so many people telling me that procrastination is such a big problem for them and that it's like the number one thing that's keeping them from reaching their goals and fulfilling their dreams with their businesses. And so I wanted to talk about that because, we have a lot of negative around the word procrastination, right? And sometimes I actually think procrastination can be a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing. And so hear me out so we can talk about this, right? Because a society basically tells us that, and psychology and everything else that tells us that procrastination is a bad thing. Well, procrastination might be a bad thing if you're feeling guilty, you're feeling ashamed of yourself, you're feeling like a failure, or if it's really damaging your self esteem and your forward progress on your business, then it might be something that you really, truly need to address. But I'm here to say that I believe that there are some things you procrastinate on simply because you dread doing it, it's boring or whatever, that type of thing. But most of the things that I think are really the problematic ones that we procrastinate on is when we're missing a few things. So, number one thing for you to do when you're trying to fix the procrastination problem is diagnose exactly what's going on. So, that means are you missing a skill set? Are you missing a tool that you need to get that thing done more easily? Are you having a mindset issue, right? Because there's got to be, it's one of those three things, right? Skill set, tool set, or mindset. Now, if you're dreading something, if you're avoiding it, if you're putting off a decision, maybe those are some mindset issues, right? You need to do a little bit more work. You need to hunt things down and figure out what is going on with your mindset so you can figure out what is stopping you, what's causing you to procrastinate. If it's a skill set problem, go and learn it, right? It's easy to identify. And so my advice is when you start procrastinating on something, break it down. Break it down, that thing down into smaller, more manageable tasks. My rule of thumb is if you can estimate how long it's going to take you to do that thing, it's probably broken down into a small enough task. But if it's something that you think is going to take longer than 4 hours, try breaking it down further because you might find that there's actually some micro piece in there that's causing you to procrastinate rather than the actual, whole entire thing. And you're avoiding the whole entire thing simply because you don't want to do that one little micro thing. And so think about that. So break things down to figure out what exactly the skills are that you need to do the things that you need to do. And then that might actually reveal a missing a skill set or a skill set that you have some anxiety over that is causing you to procrastinate on that thing. Now, as far as tool set goes, if you talk to, any mechanic, a builder, anybody, actually anybody who uses any type of tools, if you have the right tool, it makes things a lot easier, right? I mean, if you have a Phillips screwdriver when you need one, it sure makes it a lot easier than trying to use a knife, right? So think about that when you are looking at the things that you're doing, especially once you've broken those things down, then think about what tools do you need? And are you using some sort of workaround that's clunky, that drags it out, makes it harder? Or do you have a bad tool, a tool that doesn't perform well, a tool that, hangs up your computer all the time because it's too heavy or whatever the problem might be? Or you simply are trying to do it the hard way because you don't want to spend the money on the tool. Well, that tool that maybe will cost you, $10 a month or $15 a month or something like that might be all you need to make that thing go faster, saving you tons of time, money, and a lot of heartache because you're not procrastinating on that thing anymore. And then back to mindset. Mindset is all kinds of things, right? You can have mindset in terms of your confidence to actually maybe be an entrepreneur. Maybe you're feeling like an imposter, but if you're actually procrastinating on tasks that you need to do, dig in deep and figure out what that thing is that's causing you to get hung up, right? Because I have whiteboards all over my house, right? I've got 4 huge whiteboards, and I use my whiteboards to kind of work through all of my ideas, put them up there, but I'm not trying to document them at that time. I'm simply working through my thoughts, and sometimes I have to whiteboard a particular thing 5 or 10 times before I ever even put it on paper. Now, let me tell you, if I sat down with a piece of paper or sat down at my computer with a Word document open, I would struggle to get it written down because I don't have it formulated yet enough to formalize it in a document. And so by whiteboarding it, I'm helping my brain sort through those issues, sort through kind of the what ifs, step through processes, or whatever it is that I need to do in order to get that thing, like get my ideas more revealed to myself, right? And get them out of my brain and out onto something so I could start massaging it and looking at it and thinking about it. And then once you get that out on the whiteboard, it's easier to free up brain space now, right? Because you've gotten that out. You free up your space so you can go to that next step. You can go to the next layer. You can walk through the next process. And sometimes that next process can be the thing that's actually holding us up. For example, you might be creating a course or something that you're loving, that you think is great. It's going to work out really well. But writing that sales page is giving you so much anxiety that you're avoiding the whole entire thing altogether. And that could be a real thing. So instead of like feeling guilt and shame and feeling like a failure over procrastinating, start looking at why you're procrastinating. Are you missing a skill set? Are you missing a tool? Are you missing something with your mindset? Do you need to work on those things? And so, what's the fix? If it's a skill set problem, learn it. If it's a tool set problem, go get the right tool. If it's a mindset problem, figure out a way to overcome that mindset problem. And by doing that, you have to dig a little deeper and dig into who you are and, your grit and what you really want out of life. And then you can stop that procrastinating. And if you do procrastinate, you can recognize that it might be a necessary process for you to work through all of your ideas and what it is that you're trying to do. Okay, so I invite you to opt into my new workbook. It's called Procrastination, a different way to look at it, because it's not the typical, whatever you'll Google on, do a Google search on to if you Google search procrastination, you'll find all these things. But my workbook is a little bit different. It's going to have you dig a little bit to help you figure out why it is you're procrastinating and to help you identify what it is you're procrastinating on, why, and then how you are going to overcome that so you can start making a plan and move forward in your business. So grab that workbook. You can get it at thescrumshop.com/procrastination, and it's free. And I think you're going to love it. So be sure to get it. And I hope that it helps. And I will see you all in the comments. Thanks. Bye.